Good morning to my Randolph Clay family, especially to those in band and in music appreciation. Today I'm going to be going over the Treble Clef ledger lines worksheet with you. Now, as we get started, I want you to pay close attention. At the top, we have several examples of ledger lines and notes that go right above and right below the bottom and top lines. So take a look at those ledger lines. If you're running into issues at some point, remember, look at the top of the paper. Most of the ledger lines you're going to see here are represented at the top of the page. Now, when we look at the directions, starting on line 1, it says, draw a treble clef at the beginning of the staff. So please don't forget that, because that's worth a point. So we put our treble clef at the beginning of the staff. And we don't want to forget that on line 2 either. So go ahead while you're thinking about it and draw it in. All right. So our first note is one line above our top line. So how would we figure this out? Well, our spaces are F, A, C, and E. And our lines are G, B, okay, oh sorry, I got my bass clef there. Every good boy does fine. We've got that. So the space, there's a space between this top line and this first ledger line. The space between that's after F is going to be G. And then the line above G would be A. So the answer is A. And if you look at the top of your paper, you can see one ledger line above the top line is A. Now we look at our next note, and we're looking at it, and it's one ledger line below the staff. So we go with our lines again. Every good boy does fine. So the space below E, what comes before E in the alphabet, would be D. And then the line below D, what comes below D in the alphabet? C. So the answer to that question will be C. Okay? And it'll work the same for our second line of notes also. And here you'll be going down 2 ledger lines. Here you'll be going up 2 ledger lines. So let's take a look at the one that goes up 2 ledger lines. So we have every good boy does fine. The space above that would be G. The line above that would be A. The space above that would be B. And then the line above that would be C. So our answer is C. Now when we're looking at 3, it's going to say, draw the indicated notes. Use ledger lines to draw the specific number of pitches without duplication. So if you look here, it asked for 3 C's. We had a C here, a C here, and a C here. This one is asking for 2 D's. Well, we can figure out where 1 is pretty easily. Every good boy does. Okay, so we've got a D right here. So where would another D be? Well, if you look at the top of the paper, it shows you there's 1 under the first line. Okay, it shows right there. We've got 1 under the first line. So how do we do that here? Well, we know that our bottom line here is E. So what would 1 space below E be? What comes before E in the alphabet? D. So there we have our 2 D's. Here, it's asking for 3 A's. So we have an A here. We have an A on the second space. And then we have an A here on the line above the last line. So that's how you're going to go about finding your answers. Okay, make sure if it says 2 D's, give them 2. If it says 3 A's, make sure you've got 3 A's on here. All right? And you go through the rest of these doing the same thing. Some of them will have 2, some of them will have 3. And that's it for today on our worksheet. Have a blessed one. We'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.